Well, it's no secret that mixed martial arts is exploding in the state of Florida, especially amateur mixed martial arts. It takes so many people and so many groups to put on a good show. Obviously, a great promoter, fantastic fighters, a great cage, a great venue, great instructors, great schools, apparel companies, nutritional companies, referees, doctors. So many people go into putting on a good show, and they really need to get recognition. That's exactly what they're going to get here tonight in Hialeah, Florida at the Mylander Center. On this episode of Jay's Brawl Call, it's the 2013 Florida Mixed Martial Arts Awards.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner is World Class Fight League.
With Dwayne Spires, Ralph Garcia coming up big tonight, representing Tampa down here in Miami. I was so glad when I saw you guys on the docket because Tampa needs to represent. Not only did you show up, not only did you get nominated, but you won. Congratulations. Yes. It's got to feel great.
Thank you. Yeah, it feels great. You know, we couldn't have done this without our fans and our fighters and gyms and trainers and everybody. I mean, it's just been a monumental night.
Man, this is huge for Tampa. I'm glad we're the first ones to be able to bring this to Tampa, and appreciate all our fans' support, like Dwayne said, and expect bigger things 2014, Jay.
You guys have been gracious enough to have me come to some of your shows, and I got to see firsthand what all the excitement is about. You guys are packing your arenas. You sell out every show. The fights are great. You're really bringing it. And I guess the question that comes to me would be, what is it that's creating such a fever for the promotion there in Tampa?
Well, first off, we've got the best matchmaker in the whole world right here, Ralph Garcia, ladies and gentlemen. He puts together fights with fighters who have styles that complement one another. They're exciting. We don't even let people in our cage unless they're legit. So we're out there scouting fighters. We're looking to see who can really get in and step in the cage and really go to war. And Ralph Garcia can be the one to thank for that.
I like to call Ralph the walking MMA encyclopedia. The guy pulls up stuff from like 20 years ago, and you're like, where'd you get that?
Man, I've always been a student of the game, so I'm always studying my craft. I'm always keeping up with every fighter in Florida, every gym, so I'm pretty good at matching guys up just because of my knowledge of MMA in Florida. It's been so many years, and I fought myself.
What is your desire in the future? What does 2014 look like? You going to keep it all AMI, or are you going to go pro at all?
Right now, we're going to stick with what we have. We have contemplated doing a couple professional shows. But I think our next level now is going to be taking this into other states. We've had a huge turnout at every single one of our shows. We've literally had to switch venues 3 times simply because we've outgrown it. So we're really excited about that, and you know, Ralph Garcia can attest to the fact that our fans come out and they actually support us, so it's been great.
Yeah, and give a big shout out to our pro shows that help us out, XFC with John Prisco and the RFC with Joe Valdez. Every time our guys do good in the AMI shows, gives them a platform to go when they're pro.
If people want to find out more about the show, where should they go?
Yeah, definitely. We have a very active social media, so you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/World Class Fight League, as well as on Twitter at World Class FL. Don't forget to check out our website, worldclassfightleague.com.
Congratulations, guys. Couldn't happen to 2 nicer guys. Dwayne Spires, Ralph Garcia.
Thanks, Jay.
Good
and
job.
Jay's nickname's Hollywood, by the way.
Hollywood.
All right, first category is Best Lifestyle Clothing. And that winner is Kwok Waing.
As a lifestyle clothing line versus the rugged clothing line in the ring, what do you offer? What's setting you apart?
Actually, the story behind it is we didn't want to be like always technical clothing, like gear. Like we started like it's something you could wear inside the cage or outside the cage. You could wear for any occasion, a night out in the town. You could wear anywhere.
Very nice. And you've I've noticed in your style, you've stepped away from the skulls and wings that you see in a lot of MMA clothing lines. You're setting yourself separate. You're using a lot of social media also.
Yes, we're big on social media. Thanks to all our followers, they're the ones who made this happen. All the votes come from you. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and all the links are on the website is www.cowain.com, or my personal is rayavo.com, either way.
Anthony Medina, CEO of Fighter Source, and Anthony, an old friend of the show. We had a great time last year at the awards, and another awesome time at the awards here tonight. And first, I want to thank you for coming out to the awards. Thank you for being a good friend. Fighter Source has been doing so many amazing things, so many great shows. What have you guys been up to lately?
Well, we've been doing a lot. We just came back from New York in March. We were the first MMA show in over 10 years, 17 years, however you do the math. Last time they had an amateur show that was fully sanctioned was in 1997. So when we got there, we knew that we were making a huge statement doing that. So that led into 2014, this coming year, and believe it or not, we got a TV contract on the way. And I'm not sure if we should tell everybody, but I think everybody needs to know what we're doing for amateur MMA.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that's really important to point out is you guys are doing things differently. You got the tournament format, you're doing shows all over the world, and you've signed with amateur leagues all over the country, all these different states. So you're the first guy to put them all together into one grand league. Are we free to talk about this? Can we talk about what status it's in right now and what we could look forward to in 2014?
Well, how is this? It's in full progress right now, okay? We've already scheduled our first show in Chicago. There's not a lot of amateur leagues that you know of that take their fighters out of state and obviously internationally. Right. So Fighter Source is the first of its kind. New York Post put it best, the golden gloves of MMA. So that's what we're trying to do. We fully believe that this sport should be in the Olympics. And we are going to make every effort possible. So not only that, the country and the world understands that, this should be an Olympic sport. When we did our event in Sweden last year, I mean, I still get shivers just thinking about it because I saw a U.S. team come together and train together to fight another country. That's priceless. It truly is priceless. So I really can't wait to see the first, MMA fighter on an Olympic podium getting a gold medal. That's what the Fighter Source is all about.
I know, and that's what you've been working so hard, so diligently for such a long time to put together. It's got to feel so rewarding to see it finally getting traction, to see the deals being signed. You signed with Colorado, you signed obviously with New York, Chicago.
New York, Jersey, San Diego, Chicago, Wisconsin, San Diego. Are you kidding me? Fighter Source's goal is to touch every part of the United States, East Coast and West Coast. That's the only way we're going to, culminate the best U.S. team, or what I call a naturalized U.S. team. But it can't happen without the work and effort of all the promoters around the country. Yes, we work against each other because we're all trying to make money, but for this one goal, I think we can all come together, okay, for a U.S. team.
Yeah.
Okay, and make this in the Olympics. That's what this is about.
Yeah, and they are coming together. All of these groups are coming together. Obviously, all those states that you mentioned. And what's really exciting about it is now the networks are starting to take, they're starting to really, you're getting their attention. They're starting to take note of what you're doing. Yes. And you've signed with 4 different television networks. It's going to bring you into a little over 110 million homes.
Oh, wow, 110 million homes. Can you imagine that, Jay? Is that incredible? An amateur athlete will be exposed to 100 million homes. It's unheard of. It's unheard of. Fighter Source's goal from the very beginning was an amateur league with a pro-style production so that they knew what they were getting themselves into before they turned pro. So that every effort, okay, every from pictures to interviews to whatever it takes to be a pro athlete, travel, which is a big part. When we took the team to Sweden, my major concern was jet lag. When does a fighter ever have to deal with jet lag? Truly, okay? 6 hours ahead. You better plan right for your fight. So as an amateur, you're making that fight overseas, you're truly a pro at that time. Yeah. So, I am so glad to say that when our amateurs leave our league, they're world champions. Okay, at least in my mind, they're world champions. And I know the rest of the world is going to see that too.
How has the response been at the pro levels? We know who the number one, promotion is out there in the MMA space. We know that you've had discussions with them. There's also a number 2 and a number 3. We don't need to mention names, but everyone knows who they are. Has it been well received? Because I would imagine you're making their job a lot easier in turning out amateurs who are much more ready for the pro spotlight.
Yeah, our goal was from the very beginning was to groom these guys to be pro fighters. Growing up in martial arts and being a fighter, I have a first account on how hard it is, truly. It's not easy stepping in that cage. And then, without support from family and friends and a promoter, they can't move on. And that's the truth. And I said promoter. Promoter really, especially on the amateur side, to me, I call it the college sports or college side of MMA, okay? College football, we understand how exciting that is. That's how I view amateur MMA. It's just as exciting. A lot of our fighters that fought internationally, as soon as they came home, they signed pro contracts. And, the next following year now, all I see is the whole team turning pro. That's how I look at it. Especially, you fight overseas. You're only as good as your local competition, okay? You start fighting overseas, people are going to notice. People are going to watch. People are going to look at you when you turn pro. And what does that really do? I understand pro fighters really do not make the payday that boxers make, okay? And the reason why their amateur leagues in boxing have been well established for years. So a lot of these fighters get 50 fights, 100 fights now. Okay, that hasn't happened yet in amateur MMA. So if we could help lead the way and lead the campaign in helping these fighters get a bigger purse for their pro debut, I've done my job. I've done my job.
Well, I can tell you, I know this guy personally. There is no harder working guy in the business. Forget James Brown. He's not the hardest working man in show business. Anthony Medina is really doing so much to grow the sport of MMA. I really see what you're doing. It's a grand vision, and when people get a hold of what you're doing, matter of fact, before we sign off, where can people go to find out more about this grand vision? If someone is out there watching the show and they have an AME show and they want to join this growing, exploding league, how will they find out more information about Fighter Source?
You can find out our information on our website at fightersource.com. And what we're doing is we're looking for the best amateur promotion groups throughout the country. It doesn't matter what state you're in, as long as you're an amateur promoter and you have, what you consider the best fighters, we want to put them to the test. So if you're out there, we're waiting for you.
Anthony Medina, CEO of Fighter Source, thank you so much for being with us, and good luck with this new concept. I love it.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
The 2013 Florida MMA Awards favorite MMA personality to the lovely Andrea Kaye.
I am here with the winner of Best MMA Personality, Andrea Kaye.
Yes.
How are you doing tonight, ma'am?
I'm excited, second year in a row to receive this award, so it's an honor for me.
2 years in a row.
Yes.
All right, well, I can't blame them. You've been very nice here talking with us. Could you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yes, I'm a MMA broadcaster, so we do radio and TV. You know, the fighters make this possible, promotions, always supporting what we do, and you know, what is the MMA community, my fans and the fans of the sport, which are making it be the fastest growing sport in the world, so I'm blessed.
Now, as a broadcaster that is doing Spanish and English, how is the Latino community? Are they embracing MMA? Do you feel like they're really taking hold of it?
You know, now and I feel just in general, MMA, it's growing a lot, but with UFC Network now and all the deals that they made for next year, we see a lot of the local promotions looking for that Latin community and trying to reach all the Latin countries, like we just saw XFC trying to, you know, sign deals with AXA in South America. So it's the same thing. We see all the South American countries trying to get UFC networks and trying to get all these promotions to go there because we're boxers. You know, we've seen that we have it in our blood. You know, we've seen all the boxing for years and we won that. You know, now we see Cain Velasquez, we have Anthony Pettis, you know, all of them are Spanish. So we have a really big community to support inside the sport, and of course for us as the sport fans, we love boxing and we've been following it for years. So, you know, we're going to take over.
Well, it's very nice meeting you. Congratulations on your award. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
UFC fighter Mike Rio, and before we say anything, Mike, let's take a look at that bad boy.
Yeah.
Can we zoom in on that thing? Look at that. Favorite UFC fighter. Freaking sweet, brother.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Real freaking sweet.
We're so happy you're doing so much to put Florida on the map, you know, out there on such a visible platform as the UFC. Tell us what it's been like being in the UFC, and how has your life changed since you joined the #1 promotion?
Oh, my life changed big time. The UFC, first off, they're a well-running oil machine. And everybody from Dana White down to the guy who drives us around, everybody's super family oriented. They take care of each other. I mean, there's people there that most of them been working for 10 years plus. So they take care of their own. And just walking in there, it's not like you walk in there and, you know, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? No, everybody gives you a big hug and like, oh, I haven't seen you since blah, blah, blah. Everybody's super like family oriented. So I love the fact that they're like that. The biggest organization in the world, you'd think they'd be like, no.
Yeah.
They're super hometown, super, even Dana White, the biggest name on the planet right now, will walk up to you and be like, yo, hey, how you doing?
He talks to a janitor the same way he would talk to a CEO. He's down to earth. You know, people have their stuff with him. You know, he has to do hard.
Well, remember,
they negotiate hard contracts, and that's great. You know, he's a hard businessman, but he's a real down to earth dude.
Yeah, he's definitely got two. He's got two personalities.
He's got two personalities.
He's got his business personality where there's no questions asked, no hold barred. When he wants it, he gets it, and there's no questions about it. But then there's his other personality, which he treats everybody like just his humbleness. He treats everybody the same. Like I said, he treats Joe Silva the same way he treats the guy who drives the bus. So, you know, I just want to give a big shout to, I forgot to do it in there because I was so nervous. A big shout out to the UFC, Dana White, Joe Silva, Sean Shelby. You know, thank you for putting me on. Thank you for still having me on. And
You're saying thanks for keeping you on. Well, Mike, you know, they wouldn't be keeping you on if you weren't doing so well. So, you know, you're fighting well. Chicago's coming up. And what can we look forward to in that fight? Have you had a chance to check out any film on him?
well, I know Krushank really well. Remember, we were on the show together.
Oh, that's right. You guys had the show together.
If you guys don't know, January 25th, the Henderson Thompson card in Chicago, I'm fighting Darren Krushank. Darren Krushank was on the show with me for the Ultimate Fighter. He was on Team Faber. I was on Team Cruz. And when I first got, the funny thing is when I first got on the show, me and Krushank didn't get along. He's a clown. He's a prankster. He's funny. He likes to joke around. He doesn't take anything seriously. He's just one of those fun personalities. It's just when I got in the show, I didn't take him as the fun personality guy. I was like, dude, this guy's pissing me off. Dude, he's pissing me off. But then like halfway through the show, we just started sitting down, having chit-chats and talking. And dude, he ended up being one of my best friends on the show. And even to this day, you know, we're still contacting. When I got the contact of when UFC released the whole text, me on the fight, I text Krushank, I was like, let's put on a show. He's like, heck yeah. So we're right now we're in the midst of battling each other on Twitter. So if you guys want to get some good Twitter fun, you know, hit me up, Mike Real MMA.
I think it'll be, you know, there's not going to be any fun games inside that cage. You're going to be all business when that cage door locks.
Oh, once the cage closes, besides like one or two of these, I'm pretty sure it's going to be all business. Besides like a little shoulder shrug going, I'm going to get you.
Mike Real, thanks for being with us. Congratulations.
Thank you for having me.
Here with UFC fighter Marcus Brimage. We remember him because we got to interview him at 2012 Florida MMA Awards.
There you
He was
go.
killing it back then. You won a big award back then too.
Yes.
What'd you win last year?
I won the Florida UFC Fighter of the Year, 2012.
Nice. Mike Rio has dethroned you this
Yes,
year.
he
Was there
has.
some sort of passing of the torch this year?
Well, you know, I decided, you know what I'm saying, to take some time off because my Achilles heel injury. So I went ahead and took some time off. I went ahead and let Mike go ahead and get it, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, if your boy was still in the octagon, you know, I'll be the 2-time Florida Fighter of the Year. You know, that's just how I roll, baby.
You know he wouldn't have been taking it from you.
Nah, you wouldn't take it from him. But, you know what I'm saying? The Christian in me went ahead and let him get that one, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, man. Well, I asked him the question. I'll ask you the same question.
Okay.
How has your life changed since signing with the UFC?
I got a lot more people following me on Twitter. I mean, but other than that, you know, I'm still like a lower level fighter. So the fame is there, not the money so much. But you know, we're gonna work on that because 2014, your boy is coming, and I'm laying the smack of down on everybody in 135 division.
Have they talked about who you might be facing? Now, you had the injury. I guess I should ask before we ask who you're going to be facing next. How is the injury?
The injury is doing good. I see the doc tomorrow, and I should be cleared by February to start back resuming my MMA training. So during that time, I'm going to take 2 months, make sure everything's good. I want to fight in April, May, wherever the UFC has to offer. And whoever my opponent is, they're going to get it. It don't matter who it is, they're going to get it.